How important is entertainment, and what entertainment should people have? What do you guys think?
I think it's probably one of the most important parts, especially if you're wanting a party atmosphere and everything like that. Like, you can literally make or break your party if you have a bad DJ or...
Don't have a DJ.
Yeah, don't have a DJ at all.
Absolutely.
Like 100%. And then also like things of entertainment, if you've got dancers, if you feel like the people that you have invited to your party need a little bit of encouragement, like having some dancers who can get like crowd interaction can make everyone go onto the dance floor and just create an entirely different atmosphere to like spark it all up.
Yeah. The right entertainment can really make a difference just to get things going.
Yeah,
definitely.
Even as a stimulant for the party.
And it'll get the guests mingling.
Yeah, exactly.
It does.
Especially if they've had, I guess in this instance, like we did a corporate at the end of last year, they had all these speeches, then they had a sit down dinner, and then they wanted to get everyone dancing again. And the entertainment was the perfect way to do that because it sparked everyone's interest, and there were so many different age groups, different backgrounds, and it kind of, it sparked the party atmosphere, and then everyone was dancing on the dance floor for the whole night.
But I think a key is having the right entertainment.
Definitely.
So knowing what entertainment is going to help stimulate the atmosphere that you want to create. So there's no point in getting a magician, you know, if you want everybody on the dance floor. Like, and that seems like a pretty silly one, but you know.
And that also comes down to the guests as well. It depends on what kind of guests are
Exactly.
there, what's their audience, their target audience, you know, like you're saying, if it's, you know, two-piece duo, but then you've got all like, you know, these 60-year-olds or older people, they probably don't want to be listening to that.
You know? And then that also just always comes down to, like we've been saying, like the outcome and the experience of what you want to create for the night.
And look, quite often we get asked, and this is all part of the entertainment thing, you know, should I have a band or should I have a DJ? And there's pros and cons for both, and we can talk about those, you know, there is quite a lot. But if you ask my opinion, a DJ of over 30 years, I would say if you've got the budget, it's like decorating or anything else, if you've got the budget, have both. Because there's a time for both of those. You know, you might have a nice acoustic duo to set the mood when your guests walk in, and it's and a live experience is very different to a DJ or having a Spotify playlist or, you know, with just a sound system. A DJ can have flexibility and play more to the crowd, where a band quite often has a set playlist. But a band of 3 or 4 people has a different feel to it than what a DJ just standing behind a DJ console has. There's more of a presence there. The music and the feeling you're getting from a band is that very different from a DJ. But a DJ has that flexibility, and a DJ will typically be able to play 5 hours if they need to, whereas a band needs to take breaks, obviously, if they're singing and that sort of thing. So if you can have both, you know. I always suggest that. But in a lot of cases, I think if you're on a budget and you want it to be, you know, you want to spend money in decorating and stuff like that, maybe a DJ is a better option because they are less expensive. It's usually one person as opposed to 3, 4, 5.
And they can do a little bit of both as well. They can play the acoustic stuff at the start.
That's right. So they can still play that sort of music. Different feel, but it can still,
exactly.
similar. What other sort of entertainment do you guys usually organise?
So we were talking about just like roving entertainment. So they don't have to be dancers. They could just be 2 entertainers that are just walking around dressed up, matching the theme. Drag queens could be another one. A magician could be another one.
Like you could even have a photo booth as a source of entertainment, really. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical person. It can be a product as well and a service. So a photo booth is a great way to get like interaction, to get people going. There's lots of
even
different
games.
kinds.
How we were talking about that's entertainment.
There's so many different kinds of entertainment.
And so usually from a budget perspective, how much should people allow for entertainment? So say somebody says, I'm having a disco theme and I want some dancers to help with that theme. What sort of price range are people roughly looking at to hire dancers as a ballpark?
I think if you go around the 1,000 to 2,000 probably in that ballpark, you can get something which is a little bit cheaper, a little bit more expensive, depending on what you're after. If you just want 2 girls to do 1 or 2 numbers for like 5-10 minutes, probably going to be a bit cheaper than 1,000. But I think as a good ballpark, you'd be looking at the 1 to 2, and then same as a photo booth, like you can, and that's just depending on how many hours, and then for everything, it's just the drag queens I think are a bit more on your higher end budget. But
and what about like roving entertainment as far as like I know you guys have organised people in fancy costumes that are high tech. They've got all lighting through it, or they're mirrored men or something like that.
That kind of ranges, I think, between like the 500 to about 1500. For the roving entertainers. When you get into the dancers, I think that's when it's a little bit more expensive.
And then sometimes if the roving entertainment, if it's a bit more complex, then it's like an hourly rate. So it might be like $400 an hour or something like that. But that's more your hourly cost, whereas the dancers is kind of like a package deal, and it's like
for like a 10-minute.
Exactly, for a 10-minute, and then with some crowd interaction, so they end up being there probably for like 30 minutes to an hour by the time they do their performance, get engaged, and then they do another bit of a performance. And they take photos and stuff like that.
So really, from a cost perspective, if you're having a DJ, you might have some dancers, possibly something else, whether it be a photo booth as entertainment or something else. You're looking at probably $3,000 to $5,000, really, aren't you?
Definitely.
Definitely.
So if you've got a $10,000 budget for your party, that's nearly 40-50% of your budget already. So you know, you really got to then be careful on what you choose, I guess, and decide what's most important.